have a little tip for you. You know how sometimes you hear about something that you could do that's really good for your health, and you think, well, that's cool, but no, I'm not going to do that because that sounds too hard, or it sounds too expensive, or it just sounds kind of freaky and weird. Well, that's kind of me with this concept I'm going to teach you today called Rejuvelac. I have known about this for well over 20 years, but I've only recently made it a habit. But I want to make it super accessible for you and show you as close to as I could, having you right here in my kitchen, tasting this and touching it and doing it yourself for the first time, so that you see that this can take your green smoothies to the next level. Even if all you're doing is my first step that I teach of making a green smoothie every day and spending 10 minutes in the kitchen to get 15 servings of raw greens and fruit in your lifestyle, which is what I teach as a quart of green smoothie. Even if that's all you're doing, this is something you could take and that you could add to your regimen to make a big, huge difference. Okay, so what Rejuvelac is it's sprout water, basically. And if you don't know what the big deal is with sprouts, it's live grains, nuts, seeds, legumes. You can sprout them and you can steal that plant life or energy for yourself as food. So what I've done here is I've got two different grains. This is quinoa, and at Creative Health Institute, where I was in Michigan, they made their Rejuvelac out of this. So I took about a cup of quinoa and I soaked it in water overnight, and I have this craft lid of, it's like plastic mesh, and you can get this at the craft store, and I just cut it to fit lids. Super cheap, super easy. And after I drained the water off, after I soaked it several hours, then I sat it on the counter just on its side like this, and I rinsed it and drained it like twice a day, but just put a tea towel over it. Then after a day or two, it's got these little tails growing. It's now alive. It has unlocked the life within the seed, because quinoa is actually a seed fruit. It's actually not. It's not a real live grain, but we just think of it as a grain and we use it like a grain. And quinoa is just one of the grains that you can use. I'm also going to show you, I have sprouted some soft white wheat berries. And Anne Wigmore, who invented Rejuvelac, she's kind of a pioneer of the whole raw plant food movement all the way back to like the 1950s. But I just sprouted these white summer wheat berries. This is what she made Rejuvelac out of. And these have been sitting out on my counter for a couple of days, and the little tails have grown to be about ½ inch long. This started as a cup of wheat, and now you can see how much there is. So this is in a half-gallon jar, which you can buy, a variety of places. So I'm going to put this sprouted quinoa in my Blendtec. And just to get it all out, I've got some alkaline water here, but at least if you don't have a water ionizer, at least use like filtered water. And I'm just rinsing it all out of the jar here. And I'll just fill it up. This cup of quinoa, or if you use wheat, is going to make a gallon of Rejuvelac. So I'll just put the lid on really well, and then I'll blend it very, very well. Okay, so I've blended the sprouted quinoa in just plain water, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in these two half-gallon jars. So I've got a total of a gallon of Rejuvelac here. And you might be thinking, what am I going to do with all of that? Well, here's another, besides the plastic mesh, which I'm going to have to, I forgot, I'm going to have to get one out that fits a wide mouth jar here. But you can also use this metal mesh. So this allows the air to get to it. I'm going to put this lid on, and then I'm going to let this sit out for a day or two. And what is happening here is that it's actually fermenting. And if fermenting freaks you out, think of it as culturing. If you eat yogurt, or sauerkraut. Those are fermented foods, so there's nothing wrong with leaving it out on the counter. When they make your yogurt that is commercially, you can buy it in a grocery store, they have put that at room temperature so that those probiotics can grow. So not only do we have a live, incredibly high in enzymes food here, but in sitting it out on the counter for a day or two, it's going to grow healthy cultures, those healthy microorganisms that colonize your gut and keep you more impervious to viruses and bacterial infections. This is going to become a probiotic drink over the course of, at CHI they told us to leave it out for 3 to 5 days. I find that after 24 hours, mine is really quite tart, and you can just taste it. This is some Rejuvelac that's finished. It's been sitting in my fridge for several days and I've just been drinking it. And you can just, like in lieu of drinking a glass of water, I drink this. I still try to drink several glasses of water a day, but this replaces some of my water. Incredibly high in enzymes, and it has live microorganisms in it that is very beneficial for your gastrointestinal tract. So, another thing, the reason I said this is going to take your green smoothies to the next level, is that you can take you can use this as the base of your green smoothies. So instead of using water, just use Rejuvelac. I've been doing this with my kids and none of them have even noticed. I don't even notice a difference in the taste. So after it's been sitting out on the counter for a day or two, taste it, and if it's really kind of tart and tangy, that's how you know that it is now a fermented probiotic drink. And you can cover it with a regular lid and stick it in your fridge. So again, what I do with it is I use it in my green smoothies and I drink a glassful of it. I don't love it, but it's not yucky either. So I wish I could give you a little taste of it, but you're watching this as a video. Give it a try, because you know what, if you're like me and you store wheat against emergencies, if you have like a food storage system going on in your house, you probably have a lot of wheat and you're like, wow, I can only bake so much bread. This is a great way to use wheat. It's extremely inexpensive. This is one of the cheapest ways I can think of to boost your health with nutrition. It costs next to nothing. I don't care how broke you are. This is something that you can afford to do. Just buy yourself a 25-pound bag of wheat and it will make you gallons and gallons and gallons of Rejuvelac at like, I don't know, probably 15 cents for a half gallon. So I hope this tip helps you. Come on my blog and tell me if this is a habit that you're starting, because that makes me feel like I need to do more of these videos if I feel like it's having an impact on your health. I really think it can. Your green smoothie can then become not only 15 servings of raw plant food, but it also becomes a probiotic, even richer enzyme food. So hope you want to give this a try like I do. This is a habit for life for me. I'm very excited about it. So you try it too. See you next time.